Now, the Cradock Four inquest resumes in the Gqeberha High Court in the Eastern Cape. A video showing a television interview of Adriaan Vlok has been played for the presiding Judge Thami Beshe. SABC News reporter Sisipho Ngcumbe has the latest update. Sisipho, perhaps for those of us who didn't actually get to see what that video was all about, that live broadcast, perhaps give us a recap of what we've actually been hearing and seeing so far in this trial.
Well, a very good morning to you, Leanne, and a good morning, of course, to the viewers at home as well. Indeed, a video was shown on Friday of a journalist who was interviewing Adriaan Vlok, and that journalist also took the stand, just explaining that the reasoning behind that video was he was trying to establish exactly what it was that happened in 1985 with the killings of this four. Of course, last week we saw other key testimonies. We heard testimony from Ngcumbe, who is the nephew of one of the Cradock Four, Matthew Ngcumbe, and was in his own right as well an activist back in that time. And we heard from him talking about the strenuous conditions under which the activists lived in back during that era. And in the same breath, we also heard from the deputy minister of defense, General Bantu Olomisa, who was also echoing those sentiments of Ngcumbe, speaking about the difficulties and how the apartheid state would orchestrate black-on-black violence back in that time in the 60s and the 70s. And so that's what we heard from him. And we also heard him saying that he had intel, he had received information that there was a command to have Fort Calata as well as Matthew Ngcumbe permanently removed from society. So all of these things have been painting really a similar picture of the difficult pressures under which activists back then were living in. And now, as we look ahead, Leanne, into this week too that we are in, we're actually expecting the first persons of interest to take the stand. Last week, we were expecting the former commander of Flak Boss, Eugene de Kock, to take the stand and give his testimony. However, his attorney said that he was unwell. He had been diagnosed with heart failure and unfortunately wouldn't be able to give his testimony at that present time, of which we heard then that the other legal representatives came forward and said that their clients could be prejudiced if de Kock was given an opportunity to only testify later. So as we go into this week today, we are expecting the former Deputy Minister of Education, Sam de Beer, to take the stand as a witness. And going into the rest of the week, we are expecting more persons of interest from the SAPS security branch and from former members of the SADF to take the stand and give their testimony. But we will, of course, be keeping you updated.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. And let me correct myself. I went and said a trial. It's definitely not a trial. It's the inquest that's currently happening of the Cradock Four inquest in the Gqeberha High Court. So thanks very much to Sisipho, who is covering that one for us.